2022. I hope you're ready. And I see a dog bone on my floor of my kids. So last year at this time, let me do a sound check real quick. Sorry. Let me make sure you can hear me.
I hope you're ready.
Yes. Okay. All right. So, so here's the thing. Last year in December, we were doing 109 deals a day. And I'm a little confused with the stats because, let's see, let me put it up here. 109 deals a day. Let me put this one down. So this year we're doing 125. When I run this, and this is Clark County, by the way. This is not the zip codes here. The zip codes are up here, but because I want to be right in line with Applied Analysis when they put out their reports, they use Clark County, so I do too. So anyway, so 498, 125 a day right now. That's awesome. But look at last year. I have to figure that out because how can that be? Anyway, I will figure it out because 830 seem a bit high. And I didn't have time to do that today, but I will do it after the show. And I have a class today. So anyway, we listed 91 homes. That's super. We have 27 days of inventory. That's okay. I think some of the people are pulling back a little bit because of the holidays, not listing as many homes. So, and we all know that a lot of realtors don't work during this time of the year, and that's okay. You know, you can't work all the time. But the people that are working are, of course, the buyers are finding them, the sellers are finding them. So we have 3,439 available condos, single family homes and townhomes and high rises. And that gives us 27 days of inventory, which is fine. And I'm sure that it will pick up, toward the end of the month after Christmas. Single family homes listed 23 this weekend, and that gives us a total of 639. That's fine. We're, like I keep telling you, we're percolating, we're churning, so that's all good. The $1 million homes still the same, 4 a day. The non-owner occupied, the investors, 45 a day. So there's embrace this market because nothing lasts forever. Nothing lasts forever. And the market is, it is what it is. Oh, I have my Boston Terrier shirt, my sweater. There you go. There we go. Yeah, I have my Boston Terriers and my Boston Terrier earrings. Anyway, and my ring. Bit weird, probably. Okay, today we have a class. The class today is about listing strategies. And disappointing, I'm so disappointed because not that many people signed up for this class. And then I realized, I really didn't promote it that much. And you know what they say, Barnum and Bailey says, you know what happens when you don't advertise and market? Nothing. Well, I'm guilty. I did not advertise this class enough. I was busy with the Christmas party Thursday and Friday. Saturday, I think I finally got my first marketing piece out. And Sunday I did another one. I did another one this morning. But normally I would have done Thursday and Friday. And that gets people's attention, gets them thinking, what am I going to do Monday? Maybe I'll go to a class, things like that. I totally missed it. So it happens. And Seth Godin says, you've got to be that purple cow. You've got to be giving information and doing things that people want to do business with you because of, right? Don't end your sentence in a preposition. I just did. Anyway, to calm myself down a little bit here, we had a great show on Saturday. And if you don't know, I will let you know. And if you live in this area, or even if you live in Henderson, the Downtown Summerlin Holiday Parade has returned. And John and I, we haven't seen it yet. We're going to go see it. I heard it was fabulous, just to let everybody know. And today, okay, it's Monday. What are we going to talk about on Monday? Well, Gary V came out with his book. Now, I was one of the lucky people to get several copies of this. And I have to figure out what I can do to give people a copy. Good morning, Debbie. Whoops. Good morning, Debbie. Good morning, Debbie from Advantage Realty. Good to see you. Thank you for watching today. So Gary Vaynerchuk, of course, he's one of my mentors. And he has written a book about business. And the back of the book is very interesting. And I took the back of the book and I posted it in the group so you could see what he has to say. And it's a quote from him. And what is 12 and a half? Well, 12 and a half. Gratitude is number 1. Self-awareness is number 2. Accountability is number 3. Optimism. I love that one. Number 4. Empathy. Gosh, we need more empathy and less ego. 6 is kindness. We need much more kindness in this world. 7 is tenacity. We have got to be laser focused on our plans. I'm going to stop really using the word goals. We had this discussion, I think, on Saturday with Max and Aaron Mills, because a goal is, to me, like a cloud where plans are the roadmap. And so I'm going to stop using the word goal and start using the word plan. Anyway, I digress. Number 8 is curiosity. We have to be curious. Number 9 is patience. Oh my gosh. Practice and patience. That's what Seth Godin says. And Gary Vaynerchuk agrees. And number 10 is conviction. And when I think of that word, you have to have the courage of your convictions, which means if I believe in something, I have to have the courage to announce it, do it, help other people with it. If I'm convicted to something, I'm going to make sure that I have the courage to act my convictions out. So conviction's a very important item as well, as a catalyst, as he calls it. And then humility. Oh my goodness. Again, get the ego out of the way and be humble. Ambition. Yes, ambition is definitely an ingredient. Otherwise, you wouldn't be in business. And then his half, because it's 12 and a half, is kind candor. And what I want to do today is I want to read the first couple pages about gratitude. And I love the way Gary writes. And Gary writes this. He doesn't have a ghostwriter. So this is Gary. You know, I know Gary. Had dinner with him. I've had dinner with his parents. I've been to many of his events. He used to call me his grandmother back in, I think, 2018. Anyway, gratitude. He says the quality of being thankful, readiness to show appreciation to and for, and in return, kindness. The quality of being thankful is readiness to show appreciation for and to return kindness. So if there were a list that ranked everyone on earth in terms of overall success and happiness, on a number from 1 to 7.7 billion, where do you think you rank? So if there were a list that ranked everyone on earth in terms of overall success and happiness, and there's 7.7 billion people in the world, where do you think you'd rank? And it's interesting because in the book, he puts a line there for you to write your answer. So you got your number? Great. Hopefully you wrote it down. According to the World Health Organization, now I think these statistics are noteworthy. 785 million people globally lack basic drinking water services. That's 10% of the world's population, and even 2 million Americans don't have access to safe drinking water or even basic plumbing. So do you have enough food to eat today? More than 820 million people in the world were undernourished in 2018. No matter how much you hate your job, do you have even the slightest potential or ability to get another one? And according to the Global Slavery Index, 40.3 million people were in modern day slavery in 2016. They really don't have the option to quit. And I guess that's what nowadays is called slavery. You can't quit what you're doing for some reason. Do you have a proper toilet at home? Around 60% of the world's population, that's 4.5 billion people, don't have a toilet that properly manages human waste? Do you have high-speed internet at home? About 3 billion people aren't even on the internet out of the 7 billion. Even 21 million Americans lack broadband access. And we haven't even started talking about income yet. According to CNN's Davos 2019 Global Wage Calculator, he's citing his source, the global adjusted average annual wage, the global, is $20,328. So of the working people in the world, the average annual salary is $20,328. Wow. In Russia, it's about $5,457 per year. In Brazil, $4,659. In India, $1,666, and in Malawi, $1,149 a year. Obviously, there are too many variables to identify your exact rank out of that 7.7 billion. However, by throwing all this data at you from Gary, he hopes you get to understand what's exactly going on in the world outside of your direct surroundings. And I think that puts our lives, our lifestyle, if you will, in a beautiful perspective. And I'm completely driven by perspective and gratitude. I was born in the, meaning Gary was born in the former Soviet Union in Belarus, and he deeply understands how worse life can be. In fact, he might not even been able to get out had it not been for the following event. And I think this is a nice little story. So he says in 1970, 16 Russians plotted to hijack a small plane. The crew pretended they were going to a wedding, but secretly planned to fly the plane to Sweden to escape the Soviet Union. This was in 1970. Their eventual goal was to arrive in Israel, but the plan did not work out, and the participants got arrested and thrown in jail for treason. Wow. However, that event drew global attention to human rights issues in the Soviet Union during the Cold War. And the media in the United States covered the hijacking plot, and it changed the political landscape. Due to that increased attention and pressure, the Soviet Union loosened its regulations and eventually let more Jews leave the Soviet Union. So I believe, Gary believes, these 16 people changed the course of his life. Luck is an interesting word. I probably would attribute most of my success, meaning Gary's success, to his tenacity, his ambition, and the other emotional ingredients rather than luck. But the fact that I was able to escape the Soviet Union at a young age certainly involved luck. People don't understand the reality of what's happening in the world because their communities are so insular. That's why he gave us those statistics, to give us perception and gratitude for what we have in our lifestyle that we embrace. Many people look at $1 million as an entry point of success. Many 20-somethings are trying to make it before 30. I guess he's talking about the millennials. When you're living in Los Angeles apartment or a house in Greenwich Village, Connecticut, or in Connecticut, it's tough to wrap your head around the fact that women in Africa collectively spend 200 million hours a day collecting water. People look upward at those who rank higher, but they don't look downward at the billions that are ranking lower. That's perspective. That's perspective. So anybody who owns a business in a first world nation is already living an extraordinary life. I don't think most entrepreneurs realize how blessed they are. Even if it's a grind, even if it's a grind, even if it's hard, even if there are bad days. Don't forget, over half the world doesn't even have a real toilet. When you develop perspective, the timelines you set for your goals naturally shift. As I write this, life expectancy in the United States is about 79 years. In 1930, it was 58. In the 1880, it was 39. So if you were back in 1880, your lifespan was 39 years. So although 1880 feels like a long time ago, it really isn't. A grandparent who's 91 in 2021, oh, Jimmy Dag. Amazing. Amazing. Good morning. I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Good morning, Karen. So, Jimmy, I'm reading the first chapter of Gary Vaynerchuk's book because it's about gratitude. And he wrote this book, and he has 12 and a half emotional ingredients that are necessary for business success. And I put them in the group. I listed those this morning, and I will reiterate them as soon as I finish this little story he's telling. He starts the book, Jimmy, by giving people perspective. How many people don't have water? Even in the United States, 20 million people don't have access to water. So many people don't even have access to a toilet. You can go back and listen to the beginning of it because I don't want to reiterate it, but it's really putting life and gratitude into perspective. And he says, in 1880, your lifespan was 39 years. And that feels like a long time ago, but it really isn't. So a grandparent who's 91 in 2021 probably knew of family members who died at 39. So if you lived during that time, of course, you needed to have your life figured out by 30 for sure. So you die 9 years later. I mean, think about that. The 30 years old today, if they only had 9 more years to live, how would that change their course and their plans for their life? So even in 1930, people died at 58. And by age 30, their lives were already more than half over. So as our life expectancy increased, shouldn't our timelines for goals increase too? Shouldn't you be okay with not having everything figured out until later? So with advances in modern medicine, Gary believes many of you will live to 90 or 100. And if you're 27 and hate your job after working your way up for 5 years, it's okay to take a step backward and find another job. If you're 33 and decide to start your own business from scratch after getting a degree in something you're not passionate about, you're not too late. So you can start your life when you're done with school, even if you don't pursue what you went to school for, is what he's saying. You're actually the luckiest of the lucky. You get to be alive during an era where the math shows you probably have another 60 years to play. I like that. Regardless of what happened yesterday or every day before that, you still have a generous amount of time ahead of you. And be thoughtful and honest with yourself about your missteps. But don't start dwelling on them. People beat themselves up and obsess about something that happened 13 years ago, a business partnership that didn't work out, a startup that failed, a boss they didn't like, and it becomes the jail they live in. With all the time you have left, there's zero value in getting bogged down in the past. If I ever get into that mud, I'm grabbing my gratitude hose to wash it off. I've had major disappointments in my career that I've dwelled on for maybe an hour, maybe a day, if it was really a gut punch. How can I be upset about such a small thing for so long? I'm playing my life's mission. I'm doing my thing. Of course, I'm going to lose every now and then. It's like losing a playoff series in basketball. It's going to happen. In the face-off of disappointment, gratitude is my chess move to limit dwelling on it. And what he's saying is, instead of dwelling on what he can't change, he's grateful for what he can. Actually, as long as we're talking about dwelling, I need some help. Send an email to gratitude@vfriends.com and title it The Value of Dwelling. I need to know what it is. I think that's something to think about. I'm not talking about the value of mourning. I'm not saying you shouldn't give yourself time to mourn. I just think we should reserve mourning for the death of people. I just think we should reserve it not for bad business decisions. What's the value of dwelling? What could possibly be productive about beating yourself up for weeks, months, or years over a bad outcome? I get it. Susan broke your heart in college, but it's over. She's 47 now, and she's got 3 kids. One of the biggest points I'm trying to make in this book is that positive emotional ingredients provide more sustainable fuel than negative ones. If you draw energy from gratitude, you'll find that it lasts much longer than energy drawn from insecurity, anger, or disappointment. I understand why people like to use the dark side as energy. I love being an underdog and having a chip on my shoulder too. Why do you think I love being a fan of the New York Knicks and the New York Jets? I love losing. I'm motivated by it, but I'm more motivated by the light than the dark. That balance really matters. Anger can give you short-term energy boosts, whether it's anger toward yourself or others. But once you achieve the gratification you're looking for, you'll often find that it's not as fruitful as you imagined it to be. A lot of people are motivated to stick it to their parents for doubting them. But by the time they do, things are different. The situation has often changed. The parents are no longer around, or maybe they've mellowed. Insecurity and anger can be tremendous drivers of success, but I don't believe they lead to happiness. Anger and resentment are heavy ingredients to carry around. But gratitude is light. I'm fascinated that people think gratitude creates complacency. There's a reason why complacent and grateful are 2 different words. The definition of complacency is a feeling of smug or uncritical satisfaction with oneself or one's achievements. They're not the same. For example, I can separate my gratitude from my requirements for financial structure of a business deal. If those requirements aren't getting fulfilled, I know I'm in control of making a decision on whether I sign the deal or not. Same thing applies if you work at a company. You can be grateful that you have a job, but if you feel it isn't paying you enough after you've delivered the results for 3 years, you can take another job instead of dwelling on it. And as you'll see in part 2 of this book, you can be grateful and ambitious. You can be grateful and tenacious. These traits don't have to come at the expense of each other. You want to know where my energy and smiles come from when you see me on social media? Well, they come from gratitude. If I wake up in the morning and nobody I love has passed away or come down with a terminal illness, then my day starts off great. And Gary has been saying this ever since I've known him. The only thing that could hurt him is the death of his family. If the people closest to me are okay, I'm good. I won. Nothing else can truly faze me beyond that. If you're truly grateful for what you have instead of being envious of what you don't have, you'll be a dominant force in business and way more important in life. And that's his first chapter, and it's on gratitude. And the book is called 12 and a half. So gratitude is number 1. Self-awareness is number 2. Accountability is number 3. Optimism is number 4. Empathy is number 5. Kindness is number 6. Tenacity is number 7. Curiosity is number 8. Patience is number 9. Conviction is number 10. Humility is number 11. Ambition is number 12. And his half, the 12 and a half, the half is kind candor. And Gary says, I think of business as an art. I think it can be as beautiful as a symphony or a painting when you execute it properly. For it to ever have that place in society, we must realize how the 12 and a half emotional ingredients in this book can be the catalyst for success in business. And I have several copies. I'll probably give some away. I have one for you, Jimmy. It's an easy read. He writes just how he talks without using bad language. Well, it's time for me to go. That was it for today. And Jimmy, I will see you in 15 minutes and we'll do our class. And I was telling everybody that I failed miserably at getting enough people to this class. Hi, Kane. So we don't have that many, but it's my fault between the Christmas party, that was Thursday and Friday. Saturday, we had poker night here. And Sunday, we went to a party. So I'm partied out, but our class today is going to pay the price because I didn't get the word out soon enough. I'm sorry, everybody, but we do have Be the CEO of your life. Let's see. Be the CEO of your life is Wednesday, and that's 2 to 5. Let's get Gary down. show this one. Hi, Gary. There we go. Be the CEO of your life. I'm so excited about this class. Aren't you, Jimmy? I mean, it's a great class, and people need to take it. And it's 22 days or 23 days on the 8th till 2022. It's not too late to get your plans together. So come in and learn some of the strategies and what you need to do to make your business a success. Because what are you doing? You're building a business. I love y'all.